Good morning. If you can hear me, give me a 5x5. I know there's only a few of us in here right now, but this is a video that I decided to make about sleeper cells in America because I've heard some misinformation put out there. Yes, we're doing this from my work, and I say good morning because I literally just woke up about 20 minutes ago. I still might have some sleepies in my eyes, pardon the bed head, but I'm sitting on my bed in my truck in the middle of West by God, Virginia, right now. Soon to be heading down the road. So, yes, good morning, Salty Dog. I went to bed at 0600 this morning, so got a good amount of sleep. I was tired. I was whipped. But as we all know, there are people out there that put out information that's not always entirely accurate. Last night, of course, driving down the road, I listened to the YouTube, and that's why I made this video, because some people put out really good information, but sometimes there's some misinformation in there because they get a little off or out of their wheelhouse, a little off track. They talk about things that they don't have much experience with. So there's that. But it's okay because a lot of them make good content. Anyway, sleeper cells in America. Some may have the concept that, especially with, bouncing stuff around. Like I said, we're doing this on the fly. And I'll hop in the chat here and say hi to the rest of y'all here in a few minutes. But with everything that's going on at the southern border, everybody's talking about sleeper cells. It's just a matter of time till something happens. A lot of fighting age males. Yes, I agree. But when you think of sleeper cells, you have to separate sleeper cells from criminals, from organized crime. All right, these are often intertwined financially, but not usually operating together per se. All right, trust me, this is in my wheelhouse from my past life experiences. But you hear people, if you've heard any preppers or any channels say, well, these guys are coming across the border, these sleeper cells, and they're operating with organized crime, or they're operating marijuana farms, or they're operating this or that. No, that is completely incorrect information for the most part. All right. Sleeper cells. If we look back at the Madrid subway bombings, train bombings, look at what happened in London in the past, other places around the world, wherever sleeper cells went active, went live. Most of the time, they were unable to be stopped by the military intelligence complex, or MI5, MI6, CIA, things like this. The military industrial complex, the three-letter agencies are often unable to stop them once they go live. To find them, they have to usually use very deep cover agents. All right, they have to infiltrate the actual societies, because sleeper cells operate as cells. They're just individual small groups. They don't throw a lot of red flags, so they're inherently going to avoid, for the most part, any illegal activities. All right, so you're not going to find them in organized crime. You're not going to find them operating illegal activities in on any type of mass scale at all. All right, or even on small scales, because the purpose of sleeper cells is to remain undetected. So you're not going to have these guys out there flagrantly breaking the law. Even the ones coming across the border, and yes, there's a high probability that sleeper cells have crossed the southern border, Eagle Pass, Juarez, Tijuana, wherever. The major points of entry, and they're going to come through the major points of entry. They're not going to be the ones that the gotaways, the ones that are swimming across the Rio Grande and crossing through the desert at night. No, because if they get intercepted, it risks the structural integrity of the cell. All right. These are going to, the sleeper cell agents are going to be the ones that come through Mexico, link up with NGOs, non-governmental organizations, get the proper paperwork in order to declare asylum. They're going to have limited documents to show their actual background for people to track their actual background. And they're going to come in seeking asylum, all right? Or they're going to come in on visas. To make my point, the 19 hijackers on September 11th were all in the country legally, all right? They operated as cells, all right? Not all of them knew all the other cells. Not all 19 all hijackers, they didn't know each other. Some of them, the ones that took this plane, they knew each other. The ones that took that plane, they knew each other, all right? But they didn't all know everyone involved. Cells, small cells, that's how they operate. They come in and you know that they're there, but you don't know their intent, okay? So they're not going to come in, they're not going to be the ones standing out with facial tattoos. They're not going to be the ones that are gangbanging. They're going to be the ones that look like sheep, but they're actually wolves in sheep's clothing. Hopefully this makes sense to you, all right? And then, all right, there may be multiple sleeper cells across the nation, but the way it's going to work is they're going to hide in plain sight. They're going to have jobs, or they're going to have some kind of financial assistance because they came through as refugees and now they get a nice little government check to, they have lots of free time on their hands, but they're not going to draw attention to themselves. I'll give you an example. And they're not going to know each other. If I was going to operate as a cell in a foreign nation, I would go in, show my paperwork, gain access to the nation legally. Once I'm there, I may have 2, 3, 4, 5 other guys that are assigned to me that come in separately into the same nation. I know each and every one of them, but each and every one of them doesn't have a clue of who the other person is. And when I get my orders, it's go time. I contact the other 3, 4, 5 individuals. It's go time. We meet here. They show up. They don't need to know each other. They know me. I am the commanding officer of the cell. Because they know me, my word is all. So they automatically have faith in each other because they have faith in me. That's how the cells work. All right. So if, let's say, a large Asian nation sent over one cell, they would send over, hypothetically, one CO, one commanding officer, and he'd have 4, 5, 6, however many points of contact. These are your men. You already know them, or we vetted them. They work for us. Now they work for you. They know when they get there who their CO is going to be, and he's going to be contacting them. They will not know each other, all right, until it's go time. They may have tasks that are menial, let's say a food delivery guy, a cook, a carpenter. They'll have jobs that, if they work, they have jobs that make them blend into society. They'll keep to themselves. And they'll usually stay in areas where there are large amounts of people that have the same culture as them. All right. Chinatown in San Francisco, Chinatown in New York. If they're Somali, then they probably end up in Columbus, Ohio. If they're other Middle Eastern, they may end up near Dearborn, Michigan, and so on. But they're going to embed in places where, one, they don't stand out, and 2, they can speak their own language amongst their own. They're going to have this, similar, their food. They're going to group in their areas, and this helps insulate them from intelligence services being able to get them. All right. Not a lot of three-letter agencies that can just roll into Somali neighborhoods and start asking questions. Not a lot of three-letter agencies in the United States that can just roll into Dearborn and start asking questions. These agents already have to be in there, or they have to have some clue that something is going to go down. All right. So the ones that are likely to do the most damage are the ones that are actually the hardest to stop. Hell, they're hardest to detect because, again, the cellular structure. Let's see. Little Miss Purposes believe they have been here for a long time now, and they can. You look back at some of the TV shows, which, reality imitates art, art imitates reality. The Soviets, we know that the Soviets had sleeper agents in the U.S. that just fake families that lived in the U.S. during the Cold War for decades. All right, just waiting that if something went down, they were activated, then it was on like Donkey Kong. All right, same thing with what's happening now at the southern border. Yes, there are a lot of non sleeper cells coming across the border, but that just makes the cells easier to hide. And when you say sleeper cells are crossing the border, no, sleeper agents are crossing the border. You're not going to have a squad of 3, 4, 5 guys that are traveling together and coming across the same point at the same time in El Paso, Texas. It's not going to happen. All right. You're going to have, as I said before, you're going to have one coming through El Paso, one coming through Tijuana, one flying into Chicago O'Hare. All right. And then they're all going to go to their assigned areas, their assigned cities. From there, when it's go time, they'll link up. All right. And from the time that they get the order to come together, basically the fuse is lit. All right. It's the timer, the time bomb has started. The counter is counting down. All right. Because they don't come together often until it's actually go time. Days, week, maybe at best, before something actually goes down. Right. Now they may get assignments, like if I had 4 guys, I may contact one and say, hey, I need you to get this chemical. Just this one chemical. I'll contact another guy. Hey, I need you to get this. Hey, I need you to get this. That way, all right. Just like what's that show? Breaking Bad. You don't buy all of your stuff for cooking meth in one place. It draws red flags. Same thing with sleeper cells. All right. They're not going to buy all their ingredients to do whatever they want to do in one place with one guy. They're going to part it out. All right. And then bring it together when it's time and then go live. Hopefully that makes sense to a lot of you. The notion that we could spot them just by doing all this surveillance on illegal activity. No, that is a farce. They're going to be staying low key until it's time to go. They're going to blend in as much as they can. They're going to walk. You could be standing next to one in Walmart. You may talk to one every day. If you order from a particular restaurant, that guy that comes up and oh hey, here's your order. That may be the guy. That may be the guy. Might not, but it could be. The point is, you're not going to see them until they want you to see them. Very rarely are they identified ahead of time. Right now, that's different as opposed to the homegrown domestic militia stuff, the BLM, the far right. Yes, the 3-letter agencies have an eye on those because they don't operate often in cellular form. All right. Right-wing militia groups doing this or that. They talk a lot. They're known anti-government, whether it be on the right or the left. They already have eyes on them. All right, from just their speech, their association. Sleeper cells don't openly talk about anything. All right, they don't openly associate with people that they would know or should know would bring any eyes on them. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense and clears things up about sleeper cells in America and how secretive they can be. All right, so if I wanted, me, your local warlord, not that I would, if I wanted to have cells that operated against certain targets in the U.S., I wouldn't first come on here and be like, I'm looking for recruits. No. I wouldn't go to gun ranges. I wouldn't go to NRA events. I wouldn't go to you name it, rallies. No. I would, scour the web, the Facebook, and look for people that are known associates of people that I know, that they've known for years, that seem disgruntled. And then I would contact them completely off of this. I'd make it look at random. And then I'd try to recruit them in from there if they seemed like they were of the same spirit. All right. But I wouldn't be drawing all kinds of eyes onto me. All right. Or would that just be the way I'd hide what I was actually doing? I don't know. You tell me what you think. Salty Dog, tracking like a tank. Awesome. I do like Bear, but he gets a little bit, whoo. Yeah. People think I'm a little bit extreme on my religious views. Yeah. So let's see who all's in here. I want to say hi to everybody. Pilgrim, thank you for being here. Blackbird, Salty Dog, Blue Steel Prepper, thank you for being here. Blue Steel says, speaking of sleeper cells, you need to get some sleeper to rejuvenate them body cells, son, looking haggard. Well, yesterday was a very long day. And yes, I was just asleep right here this morning. All day, basically. But yeah, I started work. What day is today? Is it Tuesday? It's Tuesday now, right? I started work at 6 o'clock Sunday when I dropped off my little ones. So, yeah, I was tired and I haven't woke up all the way yet. But I appreciate you saying how haggard and ragged I look. Thank you. Appreciate that. No, I'm just kidding. It's all right. I understand. Yeah, Salty Dog, I did. I ran 4 loads last night. So back and forth. And the way this is completely off topic. We're off topic. We're talking about personal stuff now. So if you have something to talk about, want to just say hi, just throw it in the chat. The way it works in the oil field, because that's where I'm working again right now, is our logs, because we have the electronic logs. If you don't know, truck drivers have logs that we have to keep. We can only work so many hours a day. Forces you to have to be able to shut down and go to sleep. However, and it's all electronic now for most part, unless your truck is really old and it can't accept electronic logs. However, in the oil field, because oil is money and people like Halliburton can pull strings in Congress, we have what's called oil field exemption. So whenever we get to the oil field, we push a button that we're in the oil field and our clock freezes. Time stands still. So instead of having 11 hours a day that I'm allowed to drive, I can stay up for 2 or 3 days as long as I'm almost always in the oil field. And I know some people are going, well, that's probably not safe. It's not entirely safe. I, being an old hand at this now, know my limits and I'll shut down and I'll be like, I'm tired. I have to go to bed. But you can literally look down a line of trucks that just pull in and see guys that are doing this at the steering wheel. And they're mostly foreigners that are doing it because they haven't learned that this is a very dangerous job. being pulled up mountains by bulldozers in semi trucks, and that you can drive right off of a 500-foot cliff. And it happens a lot, mostly a lot of the time with foreigners, because they're new here. Half the guys I'm working with right now speak little English, little. I've ran into Indian guys, Pakistani guys, Somali guys, you name it. They're here, and they're driving on these roads, and they want to make more money, so they keep going, until they do something stupid and hurt themselves or somebody else. But yeah, I watched a guy a couple weeks ago just lean up against his truck, and he's standing there and fell asleep, standing up. I was like, okay, somebody needs to shut him down, but they won't. Do they allow for lot lizard time? No, where this is so remote, you're not going to find any lot lizards out here. If you do, they're probably going to be actual ones, but it's, we don't really have a lot of those in this neck of the woods. But no lot lizard time. Yeah, Pilgrim, that's a steep learning curve. Exactly. And it happens. It happens more. You'd be surprised. Every week, it's like, oh, there's a truck rolled over, went down a mountain. Oh, there's a truck blew up because it went down the mountain. Oh, there's a truck stuck on the mountain because he blew his drive shafts out. Have you ever blocked a fuel island? Well, Blue Steel Prepper, normally no, but I'm going to say normally. But I've been so tired, and here's the thing: a lot of the first, there's limited places to park semi trucks out here in the world, where you always see them. If you're a truck driver, you notice them, but most of you probably don't. But you'll go down there, big wide spots, and they'll say no truck parking, even though we could safely park there. So they try to force us to truck stops, and most truck stops now make you pay to park at a truck stop, even though you get $1,000 worth of fuel. They make you pay. So there may have been a time or two when I, in the middle of the night, pulled in and just took yellow caution tape, which I used to keep underneath the bunk, and put it around the fuel pump handles and moved the trash can in front of the fuel pump, so everybody thought the fuel pump was down. And then I just parked on the other side of the fuel pump, so that nobody'd come and wake me up. So there's that. But you got to think outside the box sometimes. Cherry Bear says, hello. Can't stay but wanted to wish all you beautiful people a good night. Well, good night. It's good morning. Clever bastard. Yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Yeah. Or pull over on the, even if it says no truck parking on the side of the highway or side of a road somewhere, you pull over there anyway, put your four ways on, lift your hood up. You're not parked. You're broke down. All right. So, yeah. If it works, it works. That's right, Blackbird. All right. Well, I unfortunately do have to get to work. I just wanted to make sure that I put this information out for you. Hope it helps someone go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Dynamite, behave. Sean says, I am new to your channel and served in the military. Awesome. Thank you for your service. We probably walked in some of the same shitholes. 17 different countries, myself. 49 consecutive. That means in a row. Months in the sandbox. Hunted. And I know my buddy Dave. He's a fan. He watches on here. I haven't seen him in a couple of years, but I know he watches the show. Djibouti, pirate hunting in Djibouti, Africa, off the coast of Somalia. Visit board search and seas. That was one of my things. VBSS, like how those two SEALs unfortunately lost their lives a couple months ago. VBSS was one of my favorite things to do. It was a rush. Don't talk about this stuff a lot, though. All right. Thank you all for being here. Have a good day or good night, depending on where you are. God bless, and I'll talk to y'all next time. You guys have a good day. I'm out.